立ち上がれ気高く前定めを受けた戦士よ千の覚悟にまとい君を欲しく羽ばた闇の時代を告げる鐘が遠くなり響く戦うと思うよ今君は死も恐らず瓦礫の街を染めて沈む夕日はくれない愛する星の未来を守るため人の愛祈りも込めて貫け立ち上がれ気高く前定めを受けた戦士よ明日の平和への礎となれ熱くなれ大きく裂け天に捧げし弱き者の盾となれそして世界を導けきらめく星の海に浮かぶお前の面影人と会えない愛しい背中合わせの世界重ね会えない現実涙と共に捨て去れ何もかもさあ振り返らずに風になれ痛みを越えてだけだぜ立ち上がれ気高く前定めを受けた戦士よたとえ傷ついて力尽きても熱くなれ大きく裂け天に捧げし命よ明日の平和への礎となれ赤く燃え見事に散って星になった命よ時を超えその名前を胸に刻もう Just forever
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and Anon and I write games for fun. So, what are we doing today? Today we are going to be working on Soldat Sans Identite, Refuse to Repeat. And we are unfortunately going to be working on combat today. Am I excited for combat? Absolutely not. I can tell you that right goddamn now. I am not excited for it for two distinct reasons, and both of those reasons can roughly be summarized as open. This is going to be a very odd adventure, because I have to gut combat entirely and do a system I haven't actually done before. This isn't going to be I'm not going to say it's going to be an atypical combat system. It is just going to be a different approach to combat with a very different way of looking at things. And when we go in different things, things often go bad. So, let me see. I also randomly shielded myself on VT because I have absolutely no sense of right or wrong. That's some good shit. Okay, let's take a look. So what did I actually do from last time? Well, I did actually a few things. One, we have the attributes cleaned up a little bit, just reorganized them to make sure that they are right. Skills. So, skills got a pretty big overhaul, and pretty much the idea was you have a set of basic skills, which these are the skills that you have available to you to start with. You have, I believe it's 3 trainings, if I recall correctly. There's the core, kernel, passion. That's training in 3 skills. It's like, as long as you have training, you get a free success. If you have a training in it, you get a free success in it. And that does mean, hey, you need 1 success to do thing, and you have training in it, you don't need to roll. Why? Because you are good at it. That's training. It's something that you excel at. That's something that's unique to your sea soldier, something that makes you you. However, you also have a passion. What does passion do? It pretty much uses the attribute die of 1 power level higher, up to D20. So let's say you're not doing too hot, you're at D6s, you roll that skill, you would instead have a D8. That's it. Doesn't seem very complex. You're like, oh, well, that doesn't seem very useful. But the big thing is, you don't need training in a skill you're passionate in. And you only get 4 passions throughout the entire part of gameplay. You will get a passion for every program you install. Now we're going to go down to what the skills look like. Wow, Notepad, this doesn't look like that many skills. And you would be correct on that. But there is a reason for it. I always hate it when it does this. Now, there is a reason for this. You may be wondering, Notepad, what do you mean? These are your basic skills. These are the most simplistic skills a sea soldier is reasonably expected to possess. Possibly. The issue kind of boils down to the fact that you are a born and bred soldier. Your entire identity for the past how many years has been indiscriminate moments of clarity in between hyper-violence where your mind is completely clouded. You didn't really have a personality. Your personality was always kind of overridden whenever it was necessary to complete the mission. Hence, we have our basic skills. Now, let me zoom in a little bit more. You off to the side. You have things such as piloting complex vehicles, piloting simple vehicles. You could have a training in complex vehicles but not know how to drive a car. Because you were designed to fly the VTOL jet. You were built from the ground up to fly the VTOL jet, not drive a car. You may struggle with stick shift, but you can pilot a helicopter like you with your eyes closed. That's kind of the point. Things like reconnaissance. You don't have stealth, you have reconnaissance. Because you were a soldier, you have things like your survival ability in hostile terrain, the technology, all the different kinds of weapons, because you are a soldier, and as a soldier, you kill things. One of the core ideas, though, the catch at the end, is that you are supposed to adopt new skills over time. You're supposed to install new skills into your system. And if you want to, you can say, I have training in it. This is my passion. My one example, I put the example in I am. So my one example I have is the detective, New Swansea Police Department detective branch has been training siege holder in detective work. They would gain the investigation skill with training in it. You can also slot an investigation core to receive the same benefit. The idea is that you gain skills kind of differently, because a soldier doesn't need to know investigation. You roll reconnaissance. However, being able to understand what a crime scene looks like, that's investigation. That's a talent. That's a skill. You're learning, and you're becoming more you. Which is the precipice of the matter. And the thing is, you can take those cores out. You can take those cores out of your system and say, okay, I'm no longer trained in being an investigator, but you can still have a passion in it. I like being an investigator. All those parts of my mind that used to be able to understand it, I doesn't understand it as well anymore, but I'm passionate about it. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy being a detective, even though I'm not as good at it anymore. That is how skills work. And that does theoretically open up to any kind of skill available. And that's on purpose. If you are playing with the fucking Agrarian Union or whatever, and you're a fucking working for the farmers, they might give you a core which is like, yeah, I'm going to teach you how to farm, son, and you will have the farming skill. Will the farming skill ever be useful? Probably not. But you have it. And that's the important part. You've learned something. You've adopted a part of your personality, the things that you've learned. A horrifying melding of technology, you, and personality, because you don't have one. So that got changed up a little bit. Programs, oh boy. Technically, I don't need to worry about these anymore. Programs, got a few new programs. We have I did all of these. These were a bitch to do. Do not doubt how much of a pain in my goddamn ass these were. But the basic programs we got were kind of like the ones that we went over. They've been cleaned up slightly just to make sure that they work. But as you can see, things like the ACE, they get like one core, which gets a lot of subroutines, and another deck that's done. Well, you have like the really all-arounder commandos. That's kind of the point, and this is how I kind of wanted it to be. Am I completely happy with the costs for these? Absolutely not. I'm going to have, that's kind of like how we're going to be handling it today. Also, I just punch my mic because I'm scratching the back of my hair. But now, my friends, now we understand the value in learning things and adopting different programs, adopting different ideas into your body. That's the point. What was the one that really was a pain in the Pioneer program was a pain in the ass, because just getting, these are not the same. So I am not a graphic designer. Graphic design is not my passion, nor will it ever be. But I tried my best with these. I had to do this in LibreOffice Draw. My friend, after I got like half of these done and I like figured out all the math of like where to put everything, my friend was like, why don't you just do it in GIMP, dumbass? Like, fuck. I did say, hey, I'm going to, put some more meat behind this. I decided against it. I actually removed meat for here in the kind of the serial number and call sign section. The main thing with the serial number is I cleaned this up, made it a little bit easier. Rule 6010, assigning the numbers in straight. Let me see. Also, the surnames, I gave it a little bit more leeway. It's a particular close squad and commanding officer or corporate loyalty. Surnames are short call signs, but still personal. Example, Blitz Ultra or Flash Pepsi. If you want to be Pepsi Man, I cannot stop you. and it will still be amusing to me. Oh, jeez. And the time in the service, the original system was like you get a flat bonus when interacting with people in the same situation, and you can like build up things. It was like your indirect faction. Yeah, kind of like your indirect, faction loyalty system. That's how I wanted to do it. I kind of decided against giving it more meat because I don't think it needed it. Pretty much the idea is you begin one part of your service record, which is vague memories or ideas that seem to invigorate or haunt them to this day. Develop their personality and ego through adoption of programs. They will add additional parts to their service record from either their past events or their own emotional defining problems. These have no mechanics. The entire idea is to flesh out your character, who has no personality, who is a blank slate that you're always adding on to. You're giving them a backstory as you pretty much advance them. But it's not things like, I served in the military and I was cool. No. It's like, I opened fire on a civilian crowd in San Francisco during the Civil Riots. That's just something that you remember. You don't remember doing it. You don't remember the context of it. But you just remember having a fucking assault rifle and holding down the trigger on a bunch of unarmed civilians. Why? Because you were a fucking monster. But that's what the signal told you to do. Or you get things like, I went to a foxhole in the Balkan Wars. I left it covered in blood. You don't remember what happened in there. That's all you remember. But mind you, there are all those things that are a little bit more, like, broad. Like, I enjoy the sound of birds chirping. It means nothing. There's no mechanical benefit to having this. It gives you a little bit of personality, though. It gives you, like, a little bit of... It gives you a part of who you are. That's what I want to get across. That you still exist. Even though the system and being a sea soldier seems to prevent that sometimes. So, now we get to combat. More accurately, we get to do all of these, which I am not looking forward to. Excuse me. So let's look at contrary popular belief, sea soldiers are not immortals. Not immortals. They are vulnerable to Spectre's destiny of the soldier in the field, while other soldiers will die due to shock or blood loss when the limb is destroyed. A sea soldier will only truly die when their chest and head are fully destroyed. Let me see, do I want to... who are fully destroyed, eliminating their programming and core consciousness. Each part of the sea soldier is divided into parts that will affect them if they are crippled by reaching zero. Oof. We're fixing this section. Oy vey, goyams. So we want to do each. Is divided into separate limbs if they are crippled or destroyed. If a limb is reduced to crippled or destroyed, actually, let's say if it's damaged, it has wear and tear to it after the battle, keeping it at its current durability value. Keeping it at its current durability. Replacement parts actually would be upkeep and replacement parts are simply a part of the sea soldier's daily life. A fact that causes many to pass away, forgotten, broken, and forgotten. I'm removing this part, like that section right there was like, oh, you know, reduces the health. That was Notepad was like trying to be coolio and be like, oh well, there's wear damage. Wear damage sucks. Wear damage is always a pain in the ass to manage because you have to keep track of it. And keeping track of it means you got to worry about it all the time. Because if you're not worrying about it, at some point, mind you, you're either the GM's going to point out and be like, wait a second, you've taken clearly too much damage here or whatever. Or, hey, you know, this isn't right. Something's wrong here. Something's issue. It's arrow tracking. Arrow tracking, fun. Does anyone actually like to arrow track? Absolutely no one. Nobody likes to track arrows. Because it's boring. And everyone tends to forget it. The same reason why people like very rarely actually track things like rations. Unless it's like baked into the system. If it's not baked into the system, then people are probably going to ignore it. Okay, so you know, hence my popular joke is never run a survival game in D&D because no one cares. No one will care. I swear. So let me see the hit. 25 durability. We've crippled. Let's see, soldiers' senses are compromised. Into a rest state. It would be rest state. Actually, no, going into a reboot state. Going to the reboot state. If destroyed, maybe the sea soldier's cortex. So let me see, destroy chest, get lost in their base program. Okay. Central cortex. Brain stack. Compromised. Sea soldier continue to function. Sea soldier lose. Sea soldier is considered KIA. So the idea is cripple. Wait, that means I gotta put, because that's what we need to do. It's shit like this. Let me see. We need get some. No, actually, a limb. There's 0 durability. If the limb reaches negative durability equal to the max durability, negative 25 with a 25 durability limb, it will be completely destroyed. Because the thing is, you don't actually, it will be destroyed. Okay. one of the core ideas that we want to get across here is you are no, ignore my friend. Ignore everything he sends me. He's a weird Coomer. I love him to death, but he's a weird Coomer, man. Who does weird Coomer things. So, if crippled... the Sea Soldier... Like, the Sea Soldiers contains... The chest leans losing any augments and additional prog. Okay. Nervous system and would be okay, cybernetic core are compromised. They will enter the reboot state. So, if destroyed, are completely fried. They will no longer have access to any augments, programs, or augmentations or programs. All limbs suffering 1d10 durability damage every round until death. Because that's what happens when your entire chest cavity gets completely collapsed, and that's actually where the entire aspect of you being able to walk properly is located. 35 durability. Because I want to get across that you, again, are a super soldier. You are a creature of, you barely register things like damage. You instead are a hulking beast. No hope. Delicious. These are mostly the same, however, I just want to get across that it's, if crippled. The Sea Soldier's arm is rendered unusable, dropping whatever they are holding in their hand. Sea Soldier is using a two-handed weapon. They maintain hold, but cannot use it. Destroyed. The Sea Soldier's arm is blown up. Yeah, this one, nice and straightforward. Actually, it is completely severed. The current held item. They just don't register. That was one of the big things about this as well, is because it's limb, and with like the majority of limb-based games that I do, I want to get across that you have to decide what to kill yourself with. So if you want to offload damage to your arms, cool, that's fine. Just understand you're offloading damage to your arm. And if you have no arms, I hope you enjoy, violently beating someone's head in with your own head. Which, actually, I'm going to have to address with, like, armless combat. I have no legs, and I must scream. If crippled... is rendered useless. If they have another leg operational. Actually, this is important because of how movement's going to be. Let me see. So, okay, your right leg is rendered useless. You are pretty much not being able to stand properly. You've lost the movement. Okay. Get up to 5 low. If destroyed, it is completely destroyed. If no legs are available, then the sea soldier collapses. If they have another leg available, they can gain up to 5. They can gain up to 3 flow. If no legs are available, then the sea soldier collapses. Doesn't seem too bad, but flow is pretty... How I'm going to be handling it is... Flow is your ability to not get hit. It's your flow in combat. Because we need to go fast. We need to pretty much invent a combat system all about going insanely fast and not dying. Okay, so here we are at rebooting. Okay, so rebooting. The reboot state. That's what I called it, right? Yeah, reboot state. Reboot state. When a sea soldier is rendered unconscious, when a sea soldier enters the reboot state, willingly or not, they begin the attempt. They begin to perform. How do I want to word this? Autonomous repairs. They begin to perform on-site. Okay, actually, on-site patch, on-site repair work, and system maintenance. The sea soldier rolls automata plus psi. All successes go back to the durability of any limb currently damaged. Actually, let me see. Roll all successes. All successes. We'll enter the sea soul. Well, all successes can be distributed among damaged limbs and its durability, or the sea soldiers PLVL, soldiers PLVL. Sea soldier's power level. You pretty much gain energy by attempting to reboot yourself. The problem is, you're trying to reboot yourself. You absolute mongoloid. Let me see. Sea Soldier's power level. If a Sea Soldier has successfully recovered from the injury, recovered from the injury or has regained a small amount of energy, small amount of PLVL, they are reoperational and may reactivate for an action or their action. If a Sea Soldier wishes, they may enter sleep mode. They may enter sleep mode. Reroll. They may enter sleep mode. Re-rolling their automata plus psi for additional successes. And as long as is in reboot state, they are considered helpless and cannot protect themselves from outside interference. So, alright kids, let's ask a nice little question. What do we do with a down Sea Soldier that you are fighting in the reboot state? Do you A, wait for him to reboot? Or B, run up to him and rip his spine out? The answer is B. You rip his spine out. Or you decapitate him. Or you just put a fucking slug into his skull. The idea is, like, during this state, if you are damaged, if you are injured, and you're kind of safe behind your allies, you can kind of get back into the fight pretty easily. If you are not, however, if you are not in this state, if you are not in this comfortable state where you can do this freely, you are in extreme danger of dying. An enemy can and is encouraged to, mind you, execute you. You run up there, you grab them, you you rip their head off, you snap their neck, you do something to render them helpless and kill them. How much room do we have in the reboot state? Actually, we have a lot of room. So, reboot state, sleep mode, and the Cortex chip. Any character can approach a reboot state Sea Soldier and attempt an execution. Actually, it would be a TN3 check. TN3 would be physique check for non-cybernetics, and a TN1 physique check for cybernetics. If successful, the Sea Soldiers Cortex, the Sea Soldiers systems are destroyed and they are killed. Death is never quite the end, though. Most sea soldiers in the militaries of the world Sea Soldier data, combat data in the Cortex chip. A device allowing them to monitor progress and ability in the field. Should a Sea Soldier perish, they can be simply re-uploaded into a new Sea Soldier chassis. Into a new Sea Soldier. Into a new Sea Soldier's body. Now that many are in civilian life. Actually, now that many are out of the military, the Cortex chips are sold at a premium on shady markets and among back alley deals. So, what does this actually mean? What it means is, oh no, you're dead. Hey, we have your Cortex chip. We have pretty much a backup of you. We're going to rip the skull out of someone else. We're going to replace you and put you inside of their body. Because you're just that valuable. Like, we care about you a lot more. Like, this other person's dead. We're going to rip their thinking out and replace it with you. That is pretty much how you're going to be, making new characters, depending on if, like, oh no, I'm dead, but we have backup Cortex chip. I'm playing the same character. Alternatively, it's a way for you to not die. That's the main thing. It's like, hey, I've missed a lot of this character. I don't really want it to die. Hey, you have a Cortex chip. Buy a Cortex chip. Upload all your data to it. And should you perish, clunk, insert it in. You don't know what the hell this new body does have, though. That's the problem. Alright, so that gives them a little bit more meat. Kind of adds a little bit of a horror factor as well. Alright. Okay. Now this is where things get very complicated very fast. So, let's say, okay, AC was created to wage war. Battlefields and racked up a number of kills to strike fear in the hearts of many. Sea soldiers returning to normal, to quote, normal life will need to use their skills and abilities in the upcoming conflicts if they wish to survive. These dangerous encounters are combat and nothing. Our combat. These dangerous encounters are combat. The only thing a sea soldier truly knows. Okay. Hey, people. Hey, people. Notepad here. See, I still want Seth to fucking pay me money to write him a game. That is like the one dream. It's a foolish dream, but it's like right there. If I can get the main man himself to pay me money, I would be Gucci. Some people are asking. Actually, if anyone... Tell me... See, the problem is, knowing Seth, he would probably just ask for a weird 5e hack. Because Seth is a normie. I can say that with a clear consciousness. I'm a fucking weirdo who gave you these things. Season the initiative. So, what's the basic concept of combat? What is the basic, all-encompassing idea? Well, two big things we're going to be employing is the concept of flow and aggressive speed. Now, what does this mean? Well, flow is pretty much how fast you are going. There are going to be two sets of actions. Actions that increase flow. So, let me see. Increase flow. And then actions that decrease flow. Let me just misspell everything, because fuck me. Now, the idea behind flow is, it is the idea of how fast you are going, how quickly you are reacting, what are you doing, how are you doing it. And this is also going to double as your to hit almost. The faster you're moving, the more difficult it is to actually hit you, because armor is really useful. And you can take a hit. Like, don't get me wrong, you can take a hit a lot more. But what? But they know that. People are not going to be running up, let's fight a sea soldier with 9mm. It's, we're going to fight these guys with a 50 cal and a dream. They're going to be the ones employing a heavy fucking bolter against you, rather than like, okay, I'm going to use a whole fucking 22. That's the entire idea. And the idea in lore is that as people kind of realize that armor isn't useful. Their weapons do a lot more damage. What do we need to do? We need to not get hit. We are going to move fast, we are going to be agile, and we are going to make sure that people suffer because of it. What this is deriving entirely inspiration from is actually Titanfall combat. Titanfall 2 to be particular. Titanfall 2's combat is based entirely around moving fast and getting in and out of danger quickly. You do not walk up to an enemy, or like crouch behind cover and then hold down, aim down sights and shoot a bit. No. You do that, you're going to get shot in the fucking face and die. So what you need to do is you need to say, okay, I can go up there, I'm going to flank around. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to slide under this, and I'm going to go around here. It's all about that keep moving, keep going, never stop flowing. Because if anyone gets a beat on you, you're going to die pretty quick. The time to kill in Titanfall 2 is actually really low for what the game actually is. But the entire idea is you're not supposed to get hit. You're supposed to avoid things. You have a million options at your disposal. Send a ghost down here, flank around this way. Oh no, there's an enemy's grunt nearby. I'm going to grab his skull, slam it into the ground, take his gun, throw his gun at his friend, and before hopping on him with my knife, all while my ghost is reporting that there are 7 other people shooting at him before flanking again. The other inspiration is actually going directly from John Woo movies. The idea of, kind of using that concept of bullet hell, not bullet hell, kind of that slow motion of fighting that way, of that snap second decisions, of and using the environment to your advantage. And I actually reference fear combat, fear 1B particular combat quite a bit. If there is a problem, jump through the window. You don't care about it. You aren't going to get hurt by it that much. There is an issue, like we need to get through a wall. Don't worry, I have a core. I'm going to barrel my way through it. I have a gun and I don't care. Or just fucking bounce off of it. Do some weird, crazy parkour shit. That's the point. That's the goal. Aggressive speed. Never stop moving. Never stop flowing. And that's how we're going to be doing things. Hence why you see in combat it was not going to be fun. Ooh. Okay. So, let's see. Actually, I'm going to write down what the flow actually is. Actually, this is a brilliant idea you have during walks. Why you should always, anytime you get lost in something, take a walk or something. Forward, lateral, operational workflow. Or flow. Okay. So how do we want to do this? Seizing the initiative. Okay, we're going to actually do flow combat. Flow motion. We could do something like, it would be flow motion. Yeah, flow motion combat. Popularized during the Taipei War. During the Taipei, it would be the Taipei, what would it be? Reconquest by Chinese officers. Flow. Actually, forward, lateral, operational workflow. Flow was the act of sea soldiers using momentum, using a combination of momentum, acrobatics, and cybernetic enhancements to quickly reposition themselves in combat situations to inflict maximum casualties. Flow quickly became the dominating tactic for sea soldier militaries. Having their cybernetic vanguard smash into the enemy lines and cause chaos and cause havoc as they quickly surmounted static defenses and entrenched positions. Counterflow is actually, no, we don't need to worry about counterflow. In Soldat Sans Identite, they refuse to repeat. Flow motion is the concept of combat, allowing sea soldiers to quickly move. Actually, you know what we would do. Encouraging to quickly move. Act aggressive on the field. Increasing their likelihood of survival, as well as putting pressure on the enemy. All actions committed on the field. Ow. All actions committed on the field will raise or lower the sea soldier's flow. Achieving maximum flow allows the sea soldier to regain energy as well by increasing it further. Moving fast and keeping aggressive is the key to victory. While preventing the enemy from doing the same is goal of support-oriented sea soldiers. Now, what does this mean? What it means is that as there are going to be characters who are not going to be able to be like, oh wow, I'm a combat monster in this situation and I'm going to be fundamental to the combat. No. It is okay to not do that. Your job is to hamper others. Your job is to, you're going fast, you're being dangerous, but you're also kind of encouraged to be aggressive in different ways. Hinder the enemy. Make things hard for them. They're going fast. Put yourself in a situation where they lose that bonus. Because nothing says, okay, I'm going to lose my flow, then slamming face first into something. You're like, okay, I've lost all my momentum. I'm now helpless. And then your own guy comes in and blasts them away. Because they're going to have to do that defensively. They need to reduce their own flow. Actually, flow will probably go up to about 7. We'll make 7 be max flow. Okay. Alright, let's do this. When sea soldiers engage in combat, the instincts of warfare kick into overdrive. The goal is simple: subdue and defeat the enemy. All sea soldiers actually to determine the initial order of operations. All sea soldiers will roll their motorics. Their motoric actually be automata plus motoric. All sea soldiers will roll their automata plus motorics and count successes. Whichever sea soldier possesses the highest amount will begin the combat. We'll begin the combat in a series of turns in rounds. turn is 6 seconds. Is roughly 6 seconds in time. Actually 6 seconds in time, and performed by a single actor, or a small group of actors. A round is the total amount of turns. A round is the total amount of turns. Actually, no. Created by all acting parties in the combat. After determining the initial order of combat, all future engagements will be determined by the sea soldiers' flow value. Flow plus motor X. So if you have really high flow, you're acting first. As long as you are doing something, you're going first. But going first has its drawbacks. Because you've already gone, you're doing things that you can't really react all that well. So it's a double-edged sword. You're going really quickly. You're operating at a higher interval. The problem is you're also operating at a higher interval. You're going faster. You're not being able to react to things. Someone set up something at the very end of the hallway and you didn't notice. They've set up at the end of the hallway. You've got to spend energy to do shit. Like, you got to get out of there. Like, I can't deal with this. I'm going to burn some of my energy and quickly dash away. Flow plus motion. Motor X attribute. If two or more actors have the same initiative value, then they are assumed to be operating at the same time in the same half a second. What? Oh god, it's getting hot all of a sudden. It's nighttime, world. Give me this. Cool down, please. You were so nice earlier today. I have some friends in the southern hemisphere, and they're like, man, it's really cold out. Oh, man. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you, you damn Australian fuck. Oh. Oh, no. If you hear me going quiet, one of the things is that I'm gathering information on Kickstarters that went the way of the dodo. And, not... my boy. Let me see. Actually, a sea soldier always consume their energy to increase the value at the end. Actually, a sea soldier may always consume their energy to increase. Oh, wait a second, the BGM ended. I always forget to put that on loop because I'm a professional streamer. Lamau. See, I wish I had more BGMs like this. Kind of the soothing, like, oh, hey, here's some nice acoustics. I don't even know if you all can actually hear it, but boost up a little bit. Actually, not consume. Use their energy to increase their initiative value on or before at the end of the round. There you go. So pretty much, let's say I'm going like, okay, I'm looking at it. I'm going to have initiative 6, and my enemy is going to have initiative 8. I'm going to burn, 4 of my initiative to quickly shoot myself up. Burn 4 of my energy, actually, PLVL, PLVL, to increase initiative value. Pretty much, I'm going to burn some of my energy, and I'm going to gain power. I'm going to go faster, because I'm boosting myself, but I'm also expending a resource that I need. I might be lowering my combat effectiveness in exchange for, well, not dying. that small fact of life of not dying. Actually, we want to, yeah, we'll ground turns initiative, make that nice and clean. We can slap an image right there. Okay, now this is where things get okay, now this is where I knew things were going to get weird. And that also means we're going to be consulting something else. We need to consult. You know what may be used? We may need to use, where are you? Not Grand Belm. Where are you? Wolf, sheep, and shepherds. Consult high-speed death machine. One of the ideas is that this game actually, Wolf, Sheep, and Shepherds use the combo system from Grand Belm, with you having to build your combo up steadily. It's D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and then D20. Larger, impressive character. So, actions in combat. What are the combo enders? What are the break actions? Okay, here we go. I think we're going to be using this idea more than anything, because we want flow actions. So, flow enhanced. Flow enhancers. Flow enhance. Antonym. It'd be okay. That's what we can do. Flow stimulant, flow sedative. That works. Gives it's thematic, it works. That's all that truly matters. So, in high-speed death machine, what did we have to work with here? So, momentum actions, as long as you are moving. So, we're going to have disarm. Oh, yeah, I forgot I used the term mannequins. So, disarming, executing, maneuvering. Actually, we'll call it a shifting. Tool. We will actually break it down into ranged attack, melee attack, and range attack and a melee attack. Sedatives. Adrenaline release. Increased energy by current flow. Increased energy by current flow. Cover, dodge. Hit cover. Recovery item. We do reload. We'll put in hold. Actually, you know what? Maybe adding in the combo ender wouldn't be the terrible worst idea. So stimulant. How do I want to do this? Hold would be, it's like you're just stopping. It's like, nope, I'm going to hold right here. Not going to do anything, but I'm also not going to like seek cover or anything. Oh, I know. Focused range attack. Actually, aim. Aim, and then we're also going to do focused melee. Okay. So, disarming. What's the idea behind disarming? Disarming is you're going to take a weapon because it's faster to take someone else's weapon than reload your own. So, the Sea Soldier. Disarm an enemy. Or take a weapon. Then attempts to disarm or take a weapon from an enemy. What would be a disposable individual? Your combat instincts are kicked in. We need to fight someone who is not, this person is not a thing. I use the term mannequin. I use the term mannequin because that is how the Chimeras viewed people. They were mannequins. They weren't people. They were just these formless figures to them because they were delusional psychopaths. Here you are a soldier. You are you are viewing these, but they're just such a minimal threat. What the fuck? Minimal threat. MTH. Minimal threat hostile. Succeeds against MTHs. But makes an opposed physique or motorics versus physique or motorics check. But this is actually going to take time, so we need to actually put flow down, charming down here. Kills a MT8, automatically kills an MTH in the same zone as them. Using a weapon they possess. Melee weapons. Actually, melee weapons and hand-to-hand require the MTH to be within short range. All range weapons are indiscriminate. Actually, no, we already said it must be within short range. However, if it's not, cool. Okay, yeah. So you want to keep up the speed, executing. The entire idea of executing is that you're running along, you're going fast. You see a enemy, you see a basic guy who's standing there. We can just kind of attribute to this is a basic grunt, a rifleman who's standing there. You zoom along the wall. It's you leaping down, grabbing him by the head, power slamming his skull into the ground, watching gore go everywhere before you just endlessly go with it. You're just moving with the flow of things. Them dying is just unconcerned to you. It's you spinning around with your soul like a blade or something, chopping them in half, or you're disposing of them without even breaking stride. They are that little of a threat to you. But it's also taking an action. So shifting. Actually, what we can do is we can do shifting and then maneuver. Moves to a new zone, closer or farther away from a target or obstacle in a zone. Do we really want to do this? Sea Soldier moves to an adjacent or reachable zone of their choice. Reachable zone of their choice. Tool. Uses a tool in their possession. Restore energy equal to MTH's combat value. Sea Soldier uses a range attack. The Sea Soldier. A ranged weapon in their possession. Ranged weapon in their possession. They will roll their motorics versus the target's flow or combat value. Target's flow or combat value. Target's flow. They are successful. They will deal damage equal to their weapon. The Sea Soldier uses a melee weapon or attack. Now roll their physique versus target's flow. Successful, they equal to their weapon. Set it is. Okay. The Sea Soldier takes a breather, allowing their adrenaline in their body to successfully release into their successfully release. They will add their current flow to their total PLVL. Take cover. Dives behind cover. Nearby cover. recovery item. These, we'll call it bulky item. Sea Soldier uses a tool or piece of complex equipment in their possession. Reload. The Sea Soldier reloads their firearm. Because the big thing here to remember is that you are constantly moving. Do not stop moving. Sea Soldier reloads their firearm. Hold. Sea Soldier does nothing. Sea Soldier holds their ground. They may reduce their current initiative by reduce their current initiative to any value from their current value to 0. Aim. Takes aim with their weapon. Same with their firearm. Or actually with their ranged weapon. Reloads their weapon. Caesar takes aim with the ranged weapon. They gain next attack that they deal damage with. The next attack they deal damage with. How do I want to do it? Takes aim with the ranged weapon. The next at a target. Ultra has until next round. Until their next turn. Actually, no. Actually, the next piece of the next damage dealt with that weapon against the target will be distributed by the Sea Soldier. Soldier aims carefully and hits true. It's true. The next attack with their current melee weapon will be distributed by the Sea Soldier. Okay. Not elegant, but it works. Okay. We'll call it flow of combat actions. During a combat scenario, every character, actually every actor, has a set of actions they are able to perform. what they allow. These actions come into varieties. Flow stimulants. Actually, stimulants and sedatives. Stimulants are actions that add to the flow of the sea soldier up to the maximum of 5. Actually, I should put a footnote. Unaugmented, of course. Unaugmented maximum, which actually gives me an idea for the junkie. Add to the flow of the sea soldier up to a maximum of 5. Sedatives reduce the flow by 1. Sedatives reduce the flow by 1 step. Okay. Sea soldier. Actually, no. We have to put in differences in enemies. Okay, yeah. Let me see. Add to increase flow of the sea soldier by 1 step. Actually, I don't need that. What I'm going to do is unaugmented maximum of 5, so that it reduce the flow by 1 step. Cybernetic or sea soldiers are able to spend energy to perform multiple actions. Sea soldiers are able to spend energy to perform multiple actions per turn. Multiple actions per turn. After the first action, a character may spend 2 energy to perform a second. Then 4 energy to perform a third. And so on. Who pings me? Who's pinging me? Oh, people get out. never came out. Yeah, it's... People not understanding my basic idea of what I wanted. To give me weird Kickstarter stories. Yeah, no, that is what this, most likely this weekend, if I can get enough information out of this, I may actually do a weekend. This Curious Case might be a bit different this weekend. I might not do a series of games, but a very long list of Kickstarters that just... Uh, where were we? Okay. Are able to spend energy to perform multiple actions for turns. So his first action is spend 2 energy and so on. So we want to... What we actually want to do is we want to get rid of all of this. This entire section needs to go. This would be 2, right? Yeah, it would be 2. During combat scenario, actions in combat. What we can actually do, we are going to need to terminal... So targets. On the field, enemies divided into two main categories. The sea soldiers, and what did I end up calling them? THs, which is minimal threat hostiles. And minimal threat hostiles. TH. Man doesn't understand the question. I just want to laugh at games that failed. That's all I want. But every now and again, I'm curious about the nature of design, of the quote design community. They're not a bunch of, if anything, usually so caught up in their own ass they don't even see anything else. And I should know because I do the same thing. But that's something we have to live with. I'm an threat hostile. Soldierman. The soldiers outside of the player characters come in many shapes and sizes, and include augmented characters and augmented peoples, and even exosuit pilots. A sea soldier for terminology's sake refers to an individual who has PLVL power level and can stand against the sea soldiers themselves in open combat. Minimal threat hostiles are individuals who do not pose a threat, pose a meaningful threat to the sea soldiers. Meaningful threat to the sea soldiers, often being completely unaugmented. Minimal threat hostiles only have their combat value, CV. Only have their combat value, which ranges from D4 to D12. However, without PLVL, these MTHs range from PLVL. These fighters cannot perform actions that the sea soldiers can, or act more than once per turn. However, they cannot shut down due to running out of energy, or be indisposed. However, they cannot be shut down due to running out of energy or lose combat effectiveness as they lose power. As they lose power. That's kind of the catch with MTHs. They do not really care. However, they have also not the benefits of power. And they are also able to get executed really easily. So that's heading 2. So you would be having to be at heading 3. I'm going to bold all of you, I think. Can I fit everything on here? Yes, I can fit everything on here. Control-Shift-8. That's what I like to see. And instead of focused melee attack, what we're going to call this is the focused strike. Hello, Salmon. How are you? Joycey. God, it's like 11:30. Very late. I've been streaming for like almost 2 hours now. We're almost done with combat, though, and that's all that matters. Let's see. Oh, God, I gotta change space distance up the fucking zones. A zone's already in here written. I do have a zone already written in here. When in doubt, just ruthlessly steal everything. Okay, so zone of the section of area that. Okay, we gotta change that to the. Yeah, using the shit action, use the shift action. Or any other part of the greater whole. Zones can be traversed using the shift action. Some zones can only be accessed by sea soldiers from other zones due to unreachable or difficult to reach locations for unaugmented soldiers. I did not actually. I took like a little nap because my stomach was hurting. But right now I've been doing pretty all right. I woke up real early this morning though. Went to bed at like 4 in the morning, and then I woke up at 10, which is very odd for me. Usually if I go to like, I usually try to get at least 8 hours, but I don't know what happened last night. I just could not sleep to save my life. But I'm probably going to go to bed a little bit earlier tonight. As long as I get all this done. Doing benefits of it. Oh, someone's pinging me again. I love it when people ping me. So let's see. We want to use the objects, train object parts. Can we use to brutalize, beat, stab another, harm another living human being? Ah, yes, no. We don't really need that. Certain effects, chimera, the. Yeah, the kite formation again. My friend in another server, he wanted to make a board game, and he was having trouble of like how to actually distribute proper like sizes and things. He's basing it off of Dwarf Fortress, and I can see it was Dwarf Fortress, a little bit of Catan, and what's the other one? Where are you, boo boo? Where are you, boo boo? Oh, like House on the Hill, even. It's and for like first edition D&D, the idea is that they are playing like a, which I don't even quite know the full pitch, but you're playing a small area and you're expanding out, you're kind of building up and you're coming into conflict with different people. And he was having problems because hexes were too big and weren't working for him. So he adopted kites. I have to go through the book. Like after stream, I will be going through the book a little bit more hardcore and like really examining every part of it to see if I can't help him a bit more. I don't do board game design. Board games are weird. I've been trying to delve my, put my hand into that circle for a while now, but it is a different beast, and it's because there are a lot of different assumptions and even with wargaming, because I've been working on a word game project for the weekend, and there's a different set of logic that goes into writing the rules and defining things that TRPGs don't really do. Because you have to do all the little specific things, and like his problem right now is, well, yeah, having 6 sides for a hex is, having X amount of sides for a hex isn't good because, how things reinforce properly. So it's like, oh crap, well, that isn't working properly. So maybe this kite formation, or maybe this, or maybe that. I'm fascinated to see. It's also insect based, and this man is an etymologist, so I am morbidly curious to see what he does with that. He was actually the commissioner for the Age of Sigmar stream. He bought me a case of beer. It was totally worth it. Why there? Let me see. Set it is. So I deleted the section that I needed, didn't I? Yeah, I deleted the section I needed. There we go. Notepad is smart. So it's going to be designated for encounter part of using the shift action with enemies already in certain zones rather from others. Sea soldiers. Other maneuverable entities. To be crossed by non-sea soldiers, by non-augmented individuals. And so we need to put, actually no, inside each zone, there are 3 movement bands representing rough distances between individuals. A sea soldier can be expected to clear one band. Can be expected to clear one band for no actions, for no action. For no reason, with no problem. However, crossing another would cost 1 energy. These bands are short, within arm's reach, medium. So medium would be not within arm's reach. Farther than arm's reach would be about, what do you want to do? Maybe we'll do 4 to 8 meters. We'll do 4 to 9 meters. And the long, which is 10 plus meters. Long doesn't seem like 10, like, oh wow, 10 meters doesn't seem that far. But that's that little bit of like second to second thing. Crossing 10 meters in 2 seconds is a little bit difficult, but you can do it. Short and medium. Good movement. Shifting is not simply I move there. It's far more dramatic, intense than destination. A shift with shoulder bash on the door open, jump kicking the guard on the other side. When heroes decide when actually sea soldiers, they're allowed to make within reason for free. Jogging over to a piece of rubble to pick up the MacGuffin is free. Making a full-on sprint, vaulting the sandbags, rolling into cover. MacGuffin in hand is a maneuver. Space distance. Really, we're not using space distance actually. And I'm going to disincentivize grids fairly heavily because, yeah, no, not dealing with that shit. This thing, people are moving too damn fast for this. I would also have to add in fucking verticality. Verticality is always a big old issue in these games. I have not seen a game yet to do vertical combat well. And I am okay with it. You could probably actually, I guess, like... people are losing the original question, but don't worry because people always lose the original question. Okay, so we've got combat in a good place. That does remind me what I need to do now for 5 energy all around. All allied even allied sea soldiers give an allied sea soldier the order 227 5 energy every round. Give an allied sea soldier the sea soldier's automata in out to all action. That's so odd to say. Actually, that's cybernetic enhancements. Let's do all limbs gain +5 health. Yeah, you just get +5 health. Pioneer, good. Pioneer get you killed though. Actually, wait a second, I forgot to put in a note here. Range attack. If they are successful, they will do damage to the weapon. The target distributes the damage to their limbs. Let's see. Target distributes damage to any of their limbs. The target distributes damage to a single limb. That's how I usually balance out range combat in these systems, because usually a gun is going to do more damage than me hitting you with a knife. The problem is, I might do, say, 12 damage with a knife, I might do 20 damage with a gun. But the problem is, the guns can be distributed across any of your limbs, while a knife has to go to 1. You're doing less damage overall with the knife, however, you're doing a lot more focused. And that's where kind of the focused melee strike, the focused strikes go in, being like, okay, I'm going to stab you in your leg because I know if I hit you and hit you just right, you're going to be disabled. You're going to be flop on the ground and I'm going to stab you to death. Or, hey, I know, like, I can deal damage to you using this. And that's where the aim action also kind of comes in. You know, it's just like, against the specific target that you are aiming at, you can now distribute the damage to any of their limbs, which, hey, I'm going to do all damage to one part. Like, actually, no, I can change that. Where are you? Aim. Attack you using that weapon. Adds +1 success. Actually, yeah, adds +1 success. There we go. Nice and easy. which against a basic enemy, that is an instant hit. And that also adds on top of all of your ranged weapon training. So there is a chance that if someone has like 3 flow and you have 2 training in this and aim, you will automatically hit them. You will just shoot them with a Kraber and you will kill them because you have a Kraber and they do not, because they're lame. Let's see. Why are you aerial? What? Dead heading to the match. Weird. Vid. Dive for cover with cover with the different kinds of cover granting values. Stopping power. The amount of stopping power reflects the amount of damage that character won't take from the attack. Cover received. Yeah. Okay. Can I do this? I can. Why are you aerial? Why is this? Why did none of this get updated? What the fuck? It's really weird. We don't need that. These are just example ones. Enlightening, if anything, to be as nice as possible, to not tell him that he was a fucking idiot and didn't give me what I fucking wanted, because I know why it failed, because it was a stupid fucking fudge system that had absolutely nothing going for it. Alright, so where are we? Okay, we've got combat wrapped up. I'm going to take a look at our programs here. Ignore all damage directed at them for the round. We can probably reduce that down to 5 energy. You know, the character ignores all damage directed. Actually, the sea soldier. Ignores all damage directed at them for the round. They could literally say, "Me no take damage this round," and charge forward. So ignores all damage for the round. This ignores all damage because you are the Titan. That is your entire job. Pioneers get a lot of health because they need to be. Pioneers are kind of that way. They're supposed to have energy break. Good. When standing still, ignore all range penalties. Game automata to all firearm damage. Yeah, that works. Honeyed word. Character adds automata to any social check. Actually, we can do psych check against other individuals, against people. Now, adrenaline high, what we want to do, increase. To increase maximum flow to 6. So either in a round or 5 minutes, character cloaks themselves to become nigh invisible. Adds an automata to any combat check. We can change this. We can fix it. The sea soldier. Automata. Actually, the sea soldier reduces the cost for additional combat actions, additional attack actions, by half. Reduces the LBL cost for additional attack actions by half. Now, what does that mean? What that means is if you want to attack 3 times a round, it's going to cost you not that much, actually. It's going to cost you very little in terms of energy. So a commando is going to be able to walk in, hold down the trigger, and kill everyone. So if it's 2, 4, 6, 8 for a lot of action, so 2, 4, 6, for example, would be 12 energy to perform 4 actions in total. They get to do, if it's all attacking, it's 1, 2, 3. So it would be 6. They pretty much half all the value for the same amount of actions if they are holding down the trigger and killing people. Because they are scary monsters who do scary monster things. All vehicles, sea soldiers handling. Handling have +2 handling. It's controlling. +2 handling. Alright, these are good. Combat is functional. A little bit odd, but it works. We've got cover, we've got... Why are you aerial? What happened here? Okay, why are you aerial? What happened here? Curiouser and curiouser. I guess because they weren't under the right thing? Weird thing, though. Okay, whatever. It's fixed now. But we've got everything we're looking for. Everything should be functional. That means on Wednesday, we're going to work on cybernetic art hockey to get all of the guns in place. I was hoping we could get that done, maybe not today, but at least get things over. But we've got all this done. We have got all this done. We are on pretty good track for Wednesday and Friday. Things go according to plan. If things go flawlessly. Now, mind you, this is the if things go flawlessly, which they rarely do. On Wednesday, we'll be able to get all the equipment done, and then on Friday, we'll be able to actually finish up the entire game. Then we get to move on to the next game, and then we should be good. And for context, with this weekend, what I might do, if I can't find enough information on things, I'll probably put it on the back burner until I do. We'll do another thing. Let me see. People were talking about Into the Motherland. And Into the Motherland fascinated me to a few degrees. Because it was an odd duck of a game. No, that's not it either. Where are you? Board game, Border Royale, Survival of the Able. Because it exists. Where are you? Okay, now infecting Kickstarter. Give me... Yeah, they don't really... I was looking at games like this, and this is what I was going to be looking at, are games like Survival of the Abled, which, as you see, they failed their goal. And the big thing is what I wanted to see mostly is what's... It never goes according to plan, Salmon. You should know this by now. But this is what I was planning for the weekend, actually, was finding things out about these failed Kickstarters, because it fascinated me. Because we were talking about Into the Motherlands on TG the other day, and Survival of the Able popped up, and I'm like, I remember this game, and I remember it failed. And I got real curious about it. I looked through things. It had a weird pitch. And, like, I was like, okay, kind of weird. It was fudge. It was just a very bizarre game. And I wanted to see what happened to that. what happened to this game? What happened to all these other games that emerged? Like, hi, Mr. Hi, sir. Hi, Mr. Wood. I do not care. I want to know. Hello, Mr. Wood. And I wanted to see, like, what they had produced. Because of the projects this guy has created, it's like Survival of the Able failed. But all his other games are out. So it's like, Expand the World, Cypunk, never heard of. What the fuck is Cypunk? Like, what is this? When did this come along? Yeah, it's shit like this that I'm like fascinated by. What happened to some of these games, or like what happened to games on like Kickstarter that just disappear? Like, what happened to them? Like, where did they go? Do they just disappear? This is back in 2019. This game, Survival of the Able, is 2 years old. But then it's like, I'm curious of like what happened to this game? Which, wait a fucking second. This game is just Into the Motherlands, but Native American. What? What? What in God's name? Nani? Let's see, I might have to just do one of these days I might just have to go on Kickstarter and just show people the bizarre world of tabletop RPG Kickstarters, because there's some weird shit in these things. Like, you find like such a bizarre set of, you know, here I can even do like a quick little like look through just so you get the idea of just some of the oddities that come onto Kickstarter, and you're like, oh, it's Kickstarter, like it's supposed to be like cool quirky games for the cool, you know, interesting. You get shit like this a lot because remember, good old fucking video games and tabletop games are the exact same, and you should understand that. But you get these games that get like 2,000% funded. Where was the 6,000%? 6,000% funded. It's a fucking 5e guide. It's fucking 5e. Like, actually. And also, this is just a fucking scam. Well, it's not a scam per se, but I am fascinated by Into the Motherlands, and I want to read it when it comes out, because there are oddities here, and I'm curious. And there are, like, there is no system for this game. I don't think people, like, quite wrap their heads around it. There is no system for this game. Can I play this game? I always love those questions. Like, can I play this if I'm not black? Being like, yeah, sure. No one's gonna stop you. Yeah, it's the odd thing with this one is the game already written? We could publish the game we've written to power the stream tomorrow if we wanted to. It is already fully playable. You know, we're working on expanding it. And if we decide to make a different system, it would of course require massive rewrites. That is a fucking red flag and a half. But we also have, like, we have the privilege of having a number of different options available to multiple publishers have contacted us, and we are also considering creating our own unique rule set as well. This game does not have any fucking rules. It is using Cortex on her stream. I am mystified by this. Completely mystified of why people would give this game money. But it already has $275,000 going to it. Crazy. Weird. How? Who the fuck thought this was a good idea. And this isn't even going over, God, let me find it. I need to find Swords Fall. Like, this isn't even going over Swords Fall, which, guess what? So it's the exact same thing as Swords Fall, except not run by a literal gibbon of a human being. Which is, you may be wondering, oh no, yeah. It's done. The core system is playable right now. However, mechanically professions are still in development. Only 2 of the 34 have enough abilities to play. This game didn't have anything. This game did not actually have any, like, rules or anything. There was nothing there. But it didn't matter. Very odd. And this one is even stranger because it, this guy only needed, how much did he need? He only needed $2,000 for his goal. No, I just thought it was very odd that this game came out and then the exact same pitch effectively came out like a few months like about a year later. It is the exact same pitch, except it's like, oh, instead of its own fantasy super magic world, it's, yeah, Kickstarter endorsed it. Mind you, the book is not done yet. The book is not done yet at all. Let me see if I can go to Swords Fall. Swords Fall Home. I keep track of Swords Fall. I'm fascinated by this. The site is insanity. It is awful, and I hate it so fucking much. Mind you, the book isn't out yet, and that's the 5th Ebon Expedition there. That is the actual book. Yeah, this is my favorite thing. I didn't click on that, by the way. Do you like all of the merchandise? I actually did a video on Swords Fall a few, God, it's a few months ago now, because I was like weirded out by it. Because there's all this fucking merchandise. Like, this is a merchandising thing. And there's no game, by the way. Yet. Nobody has their book yet. And you also... it's very bizarre. And everyone's like, we love Into the Motherlands now, even though it's the exact same thing. Where was the other weird one that I saw the other day that I'm like, the fuck? Yeah, Kickstarter likes to endorse very strange things sometimes. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, yeah. You also get a lot of these. 1,440 gold. They in fact needed €1,000. Actually, not even €1,000. They need £1,000 to make this a thing. What it is? I have no idea. It's 3 subclasses. 4 one-shot adventures, 3 amazing fully designed player characters. What is this book? What is this for? I don't know. They literally come with pre-done characters. Who the fuck thinks that? Like, who wants this? Who wants this? It's the fucking School of the Barista. The influencer war, the activist who wants this? But it still made its money, and that's why I was thinking about going through Kickstarter and just looking at the strangeness that is produced and made and promoted by Kickstarter. Because it's like, who thought this was a good idea? Like, why is this being promoted as heavily? Like, do you really need this? Or like Red Sky 5e. Does this really need to exist? I don't know, but it does. Or the fucking communist game. We can go over the communist game because it's run by fucking communists. Ugh, fucking communists. Not even once. Don't trust them. The alcohol is in my system now. My devil trigger has been pulled. But yeah, I'll call it there for today. We don't talk about that. It may be the case. It may not be. That game is like the epitome of like cool pitch, bad execution. But I might do that this weekend if I can find some other games that look like here's some oddities. Like I'm curious what happened to these failed Kickstarter projects or Kickstarters that launched and everyone was super funded and everyone loved it and then nothing. What happened to them? Where are they now? Yeah, it's the where are they now? Because nobody talks about that. That's one thing I always find interesting. Nobody ever talks about what happens after. I think that's sad. I think that's real sad in a few ways. Just, we celebrate them getting a bunch of money, but we don't actually follow through on anything. And I'm always curious of what happens. Like things like Thirsty Sword Lesbians. It got its money, then nothing. No comments, no conversations, not even like a single word from anyone. I was the only one producing content for that. And it was me shitting on it. But we'll call it there for today. Thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Most likely it'll be Wednesday. And we'll do things. Saturday will probably be another curious case. I have another one kind of lined up in case things don't pan out with the Kickstarter thing. But thank you all. Hope you have a good day.